Welcome to Race2Revenue. Your organization has been hand-selected by a committee of your local PBMs, channels, and sales leadership to participate in Race2Revenue based on your propensity and ability to resell SAP's cloud portfolio. Race2Revenue is a partner pipeline generation program. It's not a typical training program where you arrive, show up, participate for a few days, and go back to your daily activities without any follow-up. Race2Revenue is a program that contains pre-work, the actual workshop, and post-workshop activities that is tracked, and the progress will be measured and communicated all the way through pipeline development and closed revenue. So welcome to the beginning of the journey that will accelerate your pipeline and your revenue. The foundation of Race2Revenue is a sales play you will be creating before and during the workshop. Race2Revenue starts and ends with your sales play, but what is a sales play and why do you need it? Well, a sales play is a document that you will use to sell your solution inside and out of SAP. It's like a business card for your industry-specific solution powered by an SAP cloud solution. It helps you, the partner, define your industry or sub-industry vertical and the titles and personas to target in your messaging. It helps you identify the KPIs that help define the industry. It orients the value proposition, messaging, and partner offer to all focus on generating pipeline within that specific industry. The partner offer highlights the value you bring to customers and the SAP sales teams. And the partner offer will capture the attention of SAP sales and the leadership as well as your prospects. Now, you may ask, why are we required to focus on an industry when the solution is horizontal and not really industry specific, for instance, like success factors in HR? Well, experience has shown us the following. When you focus on a specific industry, it allows your message to become more focused and business oriented. Or in simpler terms, you are talking the same language as your customer and demonstrating that you understand their unique challenges and have a solution for it. Talking industry prevents your messaging from becoming generic, which will automatically tune out your audience. And being generic will lead you down a path of talking about speeds, feeds, and features of the product versus talking about the business challenges and the value that can be delivered. And it's these business challenges and value that are going to get your customers and prospects to lean into your message. For Race2Revenue, we ask you to focus on a single industry. However, once you've gone through Race2Revenue, we highly encourage you to leverage the concept of industry-focused sales plays to pursue the market in other industries as long as you stick to the principles of an industry-focused sales business value messaging and really prevent you from going down a generic messaging path. Here's a high-level overview of what the sales play template looks like. It's broken down into 4 key sections. The first being the business value, then we get into qualifying questions, the partner offer, and finally, the market opportunity. Here we show you a pictorial view of what the sales template looks like from a visual perspective and gives you an idea of what kind of content goes where. Now that you have an idea of what a sales play template looks like, you might ask yourself, what does a good sales play actually look like? During Race2Revenue, we have seen over 1,000 versions of sales plays in various stages and have distilled some core principles into what must be included for a sales play to be effective. In this example, we would like to highlight areas that are critical to have an effective sales play. Over to the left, you can see that partner contacts are completed. There's branding according to the company and customer success stories that are included with the link to the website for additional information. Under the business value section, provides industry-focused context and then goes into the value proposition for the industry solution. In qualifying questions, we have 4 open-ended questions that really helps inspire and create dialogue with that customer or prospect. The partner offer is very detailed and discusses the art of the possible and the actual value or potential value of the solution. The demo highlights which business processes will actually be covered, and this provides additional insight not only to the customer or prospect, but to the commercial sales executives or the sales teams at SAP. And the workshop goes into detail to provide an overview of what would actually be covered in a workshop. The digital enablement talks about the additional value that assets can be used to help educate both the customers and SAP sales. The market opportunity provides some realistic goals and expectations as well as business potential. The industries are very specific and related to one another. And the target audience and buyer clearly defines the roles or personas that should be targeted at the customer. There are a lot of points to cover for an effective sales play. Therefore, we ask you to create a draft version of your sales play before coming to the Race to Revenue workshop, where we'll actually go over each of these sections in more detail to create a very potent and effective sales play, which will then become your second and hopefully the final version of your sales play. However, it is critical to wrap your head around the activity and to go through the exercises by creating a first draft prior to coming to the workshop. To help you create very strong sales plays, we created several self-assessment checkpoints to ensure you're on the right track on creating your effective sales plays. For instance, when it comes to the business value section, we will check your sales play for three main topics. Number one, is your sales play industry specific or is it generic? If it's generic, we will ask you to go back and pick a specific industry. Number two, are your value statements focused on business outcomes or is the messaging focused on technical aspects of the solution? Number three, finally, is it compelling? Will SAP sales teams that are working with you on creating that pipeline be inspired by your sales plays? If not, the chances are of SAP sales teams partnering up with you will be all that much more lower. In terms of qualifying questions, we like to keep the direction very clear. First, we ask that you include 4 questions in the sales play. Second, we ask that at least 2 of the questions are industry focused. And finally, we ask that all questions are open-ended and not yes or no type of questions because we want these questions to open up a dialogue with your customers. Interestingly enough, the partner offer section is the most challenging section for partners to complete, even though the section is all about what they're actually offering to the market. In this section is where we ask partners to articulate whether or not your offer is unique. Can other partners offer what you offer, or is this just another generic offering that won't really stand out in the market? Does your solution actually highlight the business value? Does your solution focus on a specific industry, or are you going down that generic path? Have you articulated what your actual offer is? For example, is it a package solution? What industry expertise are you providing? Is it a set of IP, services, or third-party integrations that are included? How will you demo and prove out your solution? Is it a demo, proof of concept, sandboxed, test or development environment? And what is your service offering? Is it a fixed price, fixed scope? What modules or business processes are you willing to cover? And how long will the implementation take? All of these elements will make up your partner offer and will be covered in more detail during the actual Race to Revenue workshop. When it comes down to market opportunity, we want to make sure that we understand whether the business potential is not too high, but also not too low. We want to inspire the commercial sales teams to be working with you on your sales play. If a single industry is identified, make sure that it's not too large. There are industries like professional services where it can run the gamut from appliance repair all the way to engineering and construction type of firms. So try to pick a niche industry or subvertical if the industry is too large. Does the solution align with the regional go-to-market? You don't want to be going after large enterprise opportunities or solutions with your platform because Race to Revenue is specifically focused on GB-only business. And make sure you list out the roles, titles, and personas. The very easy answer is to list the C-suite, but chances are you're going to be working with more individuals other than the C-suite to be able to position your solution internally. So we highly encourage you to list out who are those people, what are their roles, and be as specific as possible so we can try and reach out to as many touch points as possible in those accounts with your sales plays. Now that you've been briefed on a sales play, we have a specific call to action for you prior to attendance at the Race to Revenue workshop. Select the target industry you should focus your sales play on. Think about any previous customers you have that tend to cluster around a particular industry. Maybe you've got staff on your team that came back from specific industry backgrounds that you can leverage. Think about these different variables when actually thinking about the industry that you want to pursue with your sales play. The next step is to use the template in this presentation to create the first version of your sales play prior to attending the Race to Revenue workshop. Next step is to use the self-assessment checkpoints to check your work as you go along and make any notes in the areas you feel that you need to improve. And finally, send the draft version of your sales play to your PBM so that the Race to Revenue teams can review prior to attendance at the Race to Revenue workshop. For any additional questions, comments, feedback, please feel free to reach out to the Race to Revenue team below. Good luck and see you at the next Race to Revenue workshop.